Well, I was young then. And besides, I had an unconventional life there. We lived in the barracks. We commandeered a certain key room which had a back room, and we used to go in the back room and lift weights and write things on the wall. It was weird. I went AWOL a couple of times over the hill.
Where'd you go?
Downtown to the movies. I saw all the Elvis Presley movies. I'm an old fan of Elvis's.
Love Me Tender, Jailhouse Rock?
Right, Jailhouse Rock, King Creole.
Were you starting to write songs at that point in your life?
No, this is I was 15, 16, 17,
And you have fond memories when you think back of the...
Yeah, I didn't dislike military school.
Where did you go from there?
Ohio State University.
And what was that like? What were you majoring in?
Well, I had no major for a year or two, and I got disgusted and left and went down to Florida, where I was arrested for vagrancy, and I spent a month in jail, where I got in all kinds of trouble down there, and I worked in a shoe store.
What was 30 days in a Florida jail like?
It was great. It was the best schooling I ever had, I think.
What kind of things did you learn?
Everybody sat around singing Hank Williams, and you just talked to a lot of alcoholics and bank robbers and all kinds of weird people. I used to just sat around the beach. I ate Italian bread with the birds, with the seagulls, and fed them because I had no money. And I had my only real experience with hunger down in Florida. Really going hungry and having no money and not having any source of income and living off bread, literally.
For how long were you really hungry?
Just a few days. It was enough. Then I rapidly got a job. But I wrote a lot of journalism, which I still have collections of.
What kind of things did you concern yourself with, journalism?
I went right into politics then. That's when I became political.
About how old were you then, Phil?
I don't remember. 20. I was just a writer, and I was interested in politics, and therefore the songs came out political.
Mm-hmm.
That was about the extent of it, I think. Still is the extent of it,
I don't know. Something's happened between then and now. Something's happened between Phil Ochs in concert and Pleasures of the Harbor.
Yeah, that's only a temporary stage, though. It's not a permanent thing. It's just a lyrical stretch of songwriting, done as musically as I thought I could go. And I heard it again last night. It sounds like a big Hollywood production to me now.
Pleasures of the Harbor?
Yeah, a very Hollywood production. It started out to be a classical album and a theater album, very theatrical, and a movie album, almost like a movie soundtrack. And that's the way it ended up, pretty much, And but like the next album will be more political.
It will.
Yeah.
Now,
but then again, I'll also take into account some of the musical things. It'll be a combination of both. But I never concern myself with that. That's none of that is important to me. All that's important to me is what's good songwriting, and that there's a steady development of songwriting, and I think that holds true of from the concert record to the Harbor record. I think the level of songwriting has gone up, just as songs, and I hope, and I don't know if I can top that. I mean, I've really, it's very difficult to try to write something beyond the crucifixion, as a song. But the next album, at least will be comparable, I think. And that's all that counts, Nothing else counts but that.
You're probably tired of the discussion, but among the Phil Ochs fans and the people who've really been very, very deeply involved in your work since your Phil Ochs in Concert album came out, the major discussion was what happened to him after he split. Something obviously must have affected his head between the time he was very, very deeply involved in all the political discussion to the time he went away for a while, came back to Los Angeles last summer, and put together Pleasures of the Harbor.
Well, I just got bored with the normal moralistic politics. Just seemed to me to be ineffectual, and still does. And since that point, I've gone on and done it. I did it in New York. In New York, we in fact had a celebration at the end of the war, November 25th. We started in Washington Square Park, involved about 3,000 people. Went up Fifth Avenue to Times Square and over to the UN building. Massive civil disobedience with no arrests and no trouble, no hostility, and helium balloons, noisemakers, buttons saying the war is over. And I'm still all in favor of that. I'm in favor of theater politics.
You are?
Oh, absolutely. I don't particularly go along with the normal large gatherings of people, to to soberly state their protest. You know, that's been done for so many years, and it's had very little effect. And I'm not against that. I mean, that's fine to go on. But as far as my personal emotions and loyalties go, much more to imaginative theater and attacking this media-ridden society with communicating through events. You know, I mean, for example, there's a great thing that happened in New York, which probably isn't known out here yet, but like people go in a subway in New York or in any crowded situation, and they stage a little theater piece. They'll be all dressed in costumes. Some will dress like soldiers and have a Viet Cong with them, and they'll have a gun with them, and they'll say, hey, and they'll cause a commotion and say, hey, we've got a Viet Cong here. We got to kill him. You know, and they'll wave this 45 around, and then they'll hand the 45 to people, say, shoot him. You know, kill the communist.
Really?
Oh yeah, and one German lady picked up the gun and shot the guy with a blank, you know. But
and you really are staging these things in subways down in New York City?
I didn't do that particular one, but there are more and more people interested in, you know, in the kind of thing like that. You know, like The War's Over is a similar idea. That's a more, you know, more graphic thing. You know, there's all kinds of things to do, but I'm at the Democratic Convention next August. There's going to be massive theater pieces going on, I think. I think it's either come to civil disobedience, you know, either block the system, you know, physically, or point out its absurdity theatrically. And since I don't like to go to jail, I much prefer to do the theatrical thing, which I think has much more effect. You know, sitting in jail is good, you know, but it's not. There's better theater, I think.
The end to the Vietnam War and kind of straighten out the political scene in this country. Or is it serving a totally different? If I could,
you can say stop by affirmation. Yeah.
I'm going to sound very pragmatic.
Yeah.
But the old America still is the group that's exercising the major control upon the new America. So the new America says, I ain't going. I'm not going to go to the war. And the old America says, I'm the draft board and you're going, period. Now be at the deduction center at 9 o'clock in the morning or else we're going to come and get you. How do you get around that?
Well, it's just a matter of time until enough people get up the courage or find the necessity of not going.
5 years, 10 years?
What do you mean?
I mean, it might go on too.
No, I don't think it'll go on. I think it's already reaching its end. I think it's already, and I think a lot of people that do go, you know, don't go with any. They go without passion. That's one of the key things about this war. Men serve without passion, and therefore they're not a trustworthy army completely. You know, desertion doesn't even mean the same thing it did before. Nothing. In other words, well, I got the phrase for it. The American flag has been devalued into zero. That's what's happened. The old American flag doesn't exist anymore. I mean, that's the old America. You know, it's all gone. That whole scene, the Star Spangled Banner, the Pledge of Allegiance to the flag, all that is over. I mean, it's a dream. It's gone. The American dream is fini. It's over. Over is now my favorite word. The war is over. The country, this doesn't mean that the country is as a nation, you know, doesn't exist anymore, and that you shouldn't have any allegiance to this country. What I'm saying is that your allegiance should go to the new concept of the country, not to the old concept of the country, and that the old concept of the country must be either ignored or destroyed, or by whatever means made ineffectual, because. Not only are they stupid, they're dangerous, you know, and they don't deserve power, and they don't deserve the bomb. They don't deserve anything they have, and every day that goes on with them in office and in power is dangerous to everybody concerned.
What about your religious attitudes, Phil? Are you a religious person for the most part?
Sort of, yeah, more and more.
Do you come from a religious background?
No, totally unreligious.
Does your religious beliefs seem somewhat akin to any type of organized religious
No,
group?
not to any organized religion. I just sort of believe in a God, and I believe I believe in the life force, that's all. I believe in the life force.
In Crucifixion, which will be the next cut we'll play on Pleasures of the Harbor, which is available, by the way, on A&M Records, and you should buy a copy immediately. Maybe 5.
10.
How do you view Christ? When you think of him, in what capacity do you view
Well,
him?
that song is about all public slangs. It's about Kennedy, and it's about Christ, and it's about all public slangs. And it's, and martyrs, and And that song just states that it's a process that always goes on, a sociological process where people kill the thing they love the most, and go through a public mourning and some form of cleansing of their of the evil side of themselves.
Do you think you could ever be a martyr for any cause? Is there anything?
No, I certainly hope not.
There isn't anything that you believe in that drastically that could ever motivate you to give your life for it consciously?
Well, I don't know. That's a difficult question to answer.
Up to this point, has there been anything?
Well, I'd probably die fighting bad music. That's about it, I guess, right now.
Nothing political?
I don't know. No, I guess not.